Hello and welcome to the MobileDemand Vehicle Wiring Kit Installation Guide video. As a reference, this video is intended to be a supplement to the wiring kit instructions, which are very detailed and provide all the specific information on how to wire the vehicle cradle into any given truck or automobile. As a word of reference, this instructions provides the kit contents and what's required to do the video, general guidelines and warnings, as well as a wiring block diagram that shows how the vehicle battery and fuse box here would be connected to one of two ways for the option for you to connect the cradle to the system, and then how the vehicle cradle powering and wiring is done as well. So as I mentioned, there's two different ways specifically to power the vehicle cradle from the vehicle's power system. The first way is through a cigarette lighter adapter, where this cigarette lighter plug would plug into the receptacle of the actual vehicle's cigarette lighter receptacle, and then this end would plug into the vehicle cradle. Now, another option is a direct wire connection, and that's where you would take the this other kit and directly wire it to the fuse box. To explain first the cigarette lighter adapter, just a word of note that most cigarette lighter plugs will have a fuse actually in the plug themselves that you can unscrew the tip, and then there's a fuse, and this is an 8 amp fuse, and we include a spare one with the this wiring kit. Word of caution, don't tip that over because there's a spring inside of this tip that can fall out, and if that spring falls out and you lose it, you'll need to get a new plug. So it is screwed. If there is the fuse does blow, that would be one of the first things to check is inside the receptacle. So to plug this in, you plug it into the vehicle's cigarette lighter receptacle, and then on the vehicle cradle itself, you would plug the other end here that has a threaded connector into the socket here, the connector that's by the fan on the back side of the cradle. So you screw that in firmly, and then again this would be into the vehicle, and that powers the cradle for the fans, and then it powers the cigarette lighter plugs receptacles that the cradle has as well. And then we'll explain later how you use the tablet auto adapter or cigarette lighter adapter plugged into the cradle that goes down to the bottom of the communications module. So briefly, the cigarette lighter plug is the one option. The second option is using the direct wire connection. And in the direct wire cable kit, there's two different cable is a long gray cable that has two terminals on the end. You would use these terminals to plug into the fuse box of your vehicle. There's also included some larger terminal ends in case your fuse box would require larger terminals, and you can splice and change those out. You would route this cable then underneath the dash and come out to likely the center under portion of the dash, where this would come out of it, this end, and it's a white connector that plugs into this adapter cable. So this is keyed, so you can't plug it in the wrong way. It's only the one way. And when you push them together and then squeeze on these ends here to make sure that they snap in place so the connector is solid. This is called the adapter cable, and what it includes is a 10 amp fuse. It's a blade fuse type that can also be replaced in case the fuse blows for whatever reason, and a 3 foot long 36-inch roughly ground cable that has a terminal on the end that you would need to connect to a clean metal surface in the truck to form a ground. Then this has the same type of a connector that you would plug into the vehicle cradle as such. So that would be the direct connection. Now, then once you have that wired up, you would actually use the tablet's cigarette lighter or auto adapter. There's an L bracket here that you screw on with 3 screw points here, and then you put the auto adapter in, thread through some of the extra cable, use wire ties to tighten it all up, and have on the one end the cigarette lighter plug goes into the side of the cradle here, and then on the other end the tablet, where this would normally go into the tablet, this can be then plugged in to the bottom of the communications module, and that keeps all the correct protection circuitry to protect the tablet computer from voltage surges and brownouts and things of that nature. So that would be the general architecture of how you wire this into the system. The fans then are through the direct to the vehicle cradle here. The fans are powered through that. So once you get the initial cradle plugged in, you can test by seeing if the fans would operate. There's another video, another user guide that explains how the fans work. Then secondly, you would want to do cabling your communication. So if you've got a serial printer or a USB printer or other types of devices, you would plug in on the bottom of the communications module here your USB cable and your serial cable. Now in the case of the serial cable, most of those cables have actual screws on the connector that you can screw in, and it's a firm, nice connection. The USB cable and the power here, you would need to help protect that connection, because it is easily pulled out, is to route this cable through this wire tie on the back of the communications module, tighten the wire tie somewhat, and then plug it into the bottom there, so that this would be hanging loose, and any tugging and pulling on this is not going to immediately pull the connector out. So you would also want to do that with the auto adapter here. So just to show you as a summary again, the exterior source for the power would come into the cradle connector down here, the threaded connector, and then you would have the tablet auto adapter plugged into the cigarette lighter plug that would then communicate to the communications module down here. Another word of note, then this provides a second cigarette lighter plug that you can plug like a cell phone charger or other type of electronic device to it. You should also note that the system has limitations as far as the number of amps that it would pull, so refer to the user guide and installation guide for specific details of how much power you would be able to use with another device plugged into this port here. So that should summarize the wiring kit installation of the MobileDemand xTablet Vehicle Cradle. Certainly feel free to refer to the user guide or the installation guide for all the specific details. Thank you.